So I'm going to talk about Ciudad Juárez, about all the young strategies we have been doing there, but also about the policy of prevention we are now implementing in Mexico. So here is the things I'm going to talk about the history of the social prevention in Mexico, Ciudad Juárez case, the national program we have now, and also the challenge of collecting strategic information for decision making, which is something very important we are doing now. So in Mexico, prevention, social prevention is something really, something new. We have some of the bases and some of the instruments as you can see in the timeline. In the former government have some strategies, but very focused only in some places like Ciudad Juárez, Tijuana, Aguascalientes, and Nogales maybe, but it wasn't like a national policy for all the countries, for all the states. So the difference now, which is important of that slide, is that now we have, with the new government, a social prevention of violence and crime policy in a national level, and with territorial focus that I'm going to explain later on. So that's the important thing about this slide. So that is some of the strategies we have done in the former government. One was in Acapulco, in Aguascalientes, and Ciudad Juárez, I think, is the most important case we began. So the Ciudad Juárez, I think it's very important to say, yesterday someone told us that nothing changed there, no, in Ciudad Juárez. And maybe someone has that perspective, but I have here data in which we can see that something changed there. Like we have 2,252 executions were committed in Ciudad Juárez in 2010 when we began the strategy, and now we have a decrease of 82% on homicides in Ciudad Juárez. So we used to have like 269 homicides per 1,000 inhabitants, and now we have 38. So something changed there in terms of data, no? And also there we have important decrease in terms of kidnapping and extortions, 86% with kidnapping and 60% with extortions. So and something which is very important to understand, and which I'm going to explain also later on, is that violence prevention is not only related with homicides and with crime rates, and we are used to relate that information. So because it's information we have. So that's why now we are working in gathering other kind of information in order to measure also like dynamics, social dynamics, cohesion, and all those things. So, but with the crime rates, we can see that something changed there. It's very difficult to relate that information, that decrease in crime rates, with the social things, or even with the criminal organizations, pacts, and everything. It's the problem of violence that is multi-causal and it's multifactorial, and it's very difficult just to explain with only one factor or with only one action. It's the difficulty of that kind of issues. So, but what is really is that something happened in Ciudad Juárez. We have that strategy, and we still have a strategy there that have $36 million in all the social issues we have done in 2 years there, and now we still have money there in all the public policy sectors: security, economy, employment, health services, education, culture, sports, social development. We have actions in all those issues. We have the recovery of a lot of spaces, new schools, new hospitals. We really work with all the government there because of the emergency we had in 2010. But I'm not going to be very deeply, I'm not going to explain very deeply each of these policies, because I think that the most important thing that's happened in Ciudad Juárez, and you can go there and prove that, is the citizens' participation. We have been working a lot with citizens. We make some councils with citizens in each of these areas: security, economy, employment, health, education, culture, social development. And the most important for me are two: is the security one and the youth one. We made one special council of youth. So that are the rates also, not just to see with numbers. And I have another one of numbers, and then we're going to go through the youth committee. So here you can see that in 2011, Ciudad Juárez was the worst city in homicides. No, in 2012, it was the second one. No, with all these are the 10 first cities in Mexico which have homicide rates, and now in 2013, we don't even have Ciudad Juárez in the first 10 places. So it's just to show you that it's changing, and it's one of the cases we are really, it's in white, but it's, no, so that is also something related with the citizen participation. For example, citizens of Ciudad Juárez are doing now that kind of graphics each month, because when we arrived to Ciudad Juárez and we began the strategy, we began to work with the citizens in order to analyze the policies and in order to work together. So all the citizens there, the ones that are in the security committee, they began to analyze six indicators of violence, and they are still doing that. So I think it's very important that the citizens were involved, because they are the ones that now are asking government to continue strategies over there, even if the government changed. So that's a very important thing also to understand. And also in terms of youth, and they analyze like that, and you can see here 28 homicides, which is the month with less incidents of homicides in 3 years. They analyze each month that kind of information. And also we work there with young people, because when the first time that the former president went to Ciudad Juárez, one young man claimed him, no, and cried out that young people are important also in strategies and we have to hear them and everything. So we began to work with them. But it's not only because he cried out to president, it's because youth is very important in Mexico, as we already heard. We have 38 billion of young people in Mexico, so it's a bonus that we have. And someone said yesterday, they are the problem because they are the victims and the perpetrators of violence, but they are also the opportunity and the solution of that problem. So it's the same thing that Carlos already said, that the first cause of death from 15 to 29 years in Mexico is homicide, and then you have other causes of death. No? And also, you can see here that it's a problem that it's main concentrated in men. So from the 26,000 deaths, 24,000 are men, no, in Mexico. So it's something also we have to see and to concentrate in some strategies. That is Ciudad Juárez. You can see that also is the same problem. It's concentrated more in men, and it's also from 15 to 29 years, the most dangerous, no? And okay, and here we have also other data related with young people in Mexico. 36% of the young population has higher education, one of the lowest percentage among the countries of the OECD. And also we have, like as I told you, the demographic bonus. We have the lag in education among the population over 15 years increase the risk of dropping out of school and work at older ages. No? And also we have other things like we have problems in terms of employment, because we don't have employments that are designed for young people. And also here with all that data, with employment, education, and also with the condition and the context of young people in Mexico, we can realize that we have a problem in terms of policy, because there are different kinds of young people. There are not only one kind, it's an heterogeneity that policy have to take on account, and it's difficult to do that. So what we began in Ciudad Juárez was that we began to do tailor-made policies for different kind of young people. So what we learned there is that public policy have to understand that young people are not only the objective population, but they are the actors, the main actors of this policy. So we have to work with them and to design policies with them. When we arrived to Ciudad Juárez, they asked me to work with young people, and when I was working with them with people from gangs, with young people from gangs, young people from university, from different kinds of places in Ciudad Juárez, I realized that we didn't have anything as government. Like we have a lot of programs, but nothing attractive to them and nothing really tailor-made for them. So when I arrived with that group of young people and asked them what do they want we to do, I realized that. So we began a process which was very interesting and which is related, which Carlos said, that prevention is process. No, it's not the action, it's the process you do in terms of prevention. And what we have done is, like, I used to work for the Ministry of Health, so I found a little money in the discapacity area because it was easily to take that money and use in other things, but in a tailor-made thing. And but I had to justify it at the Ministry of Finance that it was a social discapacity in Ciudad Juárez for young people in order to take the money. And once I had the money, I came with that group of young people, like 100 people, and I asked them what do they wanted we to do with them, and so we began a process of asking and doing some courses and also some cultural activities and some things that they were asking us. We were with a lot of grafiteros also there. We were working also with people in gangs. We were working with people in universities, with different kind of young people in that process and in that project that calls Juarez en Vivo, which it was very interesting. I cannot explain everything because of the time, but which is very interesting is that we were working together. Nobody in the government trusts me that because I was all the time in the street with that kind of young people and everything. But after Juarez en Vivo, everybody trusts us and they began to work with young people because something very special happens. 1 week before the main concert of Juarez en Vivo, which we were planning for months with the young people, the first bomb car in Ciudad Juárez was happened there. So all the people that work in presidency, and in government, they told me, no, you have to cancel the concert because it is the best opportunity to put another bomb there, and we cannot risk. So at the end, we have the process, and at the end, the concert happened, and in that concert, 15,000 people come to the concert. So no one can believe that 1 week after the bomb car happened, a lot of people come to that concert, and it happens because it was a really grassroots process with the people of Juarez, with the young people there. So after that, we began to work from each ministry with that network, because we organize a network of young people, which is very important now in Ciudad Juárez, because we began with 10 people, then 20, 100. We began to make that network, and then now they are the only Institute of Youth, official Institute of Youth in the municipality, which have a different process that came from down to up. No, they from. Yes, so it's very interesting. Now, all that young people I'm working with, they are the ones that are now diriging all the policies, youth policies in Ciudad Juárez, and they have a lot of work also with USAID, also with International Youth Foundation, and a lot of processes. And now so for me, the most important thing in Ciudad Juárez and with young people, and even with not young people, with citizens, is the empowerment of citizens, and that's something that happens there. And I'm sure that if one of you go visit there, you can see the citizens, and it's better if a citizen said that and not me. No, so here are some of the photographs. I just have 5 minutes, so I'm not going to explain more of that. And then also this network became also a national network, not only Ciudad Juárez, but now these young people are doing a national work in all the 32 states in Mexico. And we are working in different parts. And also now, which I'm going to tell you in these 5 minutes, is what we are doing now. We have now a national program, as I already told you. We learn from all the lessons we have in Ciudad Juárez, we have in Tijuana, we have in other parts of the country. And now we have one special money for doing prevention strategies in all the country. But also we have challenges. And we have very important challenges in that, because we need to work with local authorities, and also and that's not easy, and also we need to include citizens in those policies, and governments are not used to work. They say that all the time in the discourses, but it's very difficult to work with citizens, and it's very difficult for citizens to work with governments. So really is one of the main challenges we have now. So we are working on that processes, and also in terms of information. Yesterday we were talking about data. And for decision makers, it's very difficult to say where we are going to work, because we don't have that information in Mexico. And I think in some countries, we have information, but we don't have in a disaggregated way. And we need to have like information of the municipalities, of the barrios, of the yes, of the neighborhoods, and we don't have that kind of information. So what we are doing now is also gathering information. One of the results of the program is to have that information for having a better decision-making process, and in order to decide based in evidence. So we are planning with risk factors and with protection factors, but we are planning a model, and we are using also technology. Here are the protection factors, the social determinants. And the program also is focusing, as Zapopan president said, we are focusing, we're not working in all the places of all the country. We are really focused in a territorial way. We are looking in target areas in which we have vulnerable variables of social vulnerable variables. We have young population. We have people from prisons there, and people that came from prisons. We are mapping where they come from, because we need to go where the people lives and not where they commit the crimes. So that's an important thing. We are going to the causes and the factors, and not to the crime. And also, I'm going to go forward, because I want you to explain some of the results we have now are here. Some of the change we are doing now in Durango, we have 30% less homicide also, for example, in this year. There are some of the recovery spaces we are doing with people in Tepito, which is a very well-known place in Mexico because of the delinquents and everything. But I want to finish here. In the challenge of collecting strategic information, we are doing two things. We are using communitary intelligence, and we are using technology for that. And also we are doing a special survey in order to have more information of risk factors. So we are asking people in the communities in order to have like communitary diagnostics. But what we are doing with that is systematizing everything. We are systematizing we are working with the people in the communities in order to do that work, and we have like a special technology that gather everything in one system. And even for young people, that's very important, because they never want to participate. And in that kind of tools, they are participating a lot, and that's very quickly. And we are doing maps of risk with all the opinion of the people. I'm not going to explain. And we're working also with Facebook, because this is one of the places where young people are. So we are working a lot. We have this Adrix Romero, which is not real, but she has a lot of friends, because we are working through her, through her in the community, and she talks like the people of the community and everything. And finally, we have this platform. I'm going to use 1 minute. This platform in which we are gathering all the information, but also we have all the 96 databases, all the information, all the surveys we have in Mexico. We are gathering everything and systematizing everything in order to take decisions. And I'm just going to show you an example. We have all that information now in that system of all the country. We have like it explores more than 1,600 variables. We can have rates of all the country. We can also analyze the information we gather in the community, and we can compare. And that is very interesting. We can compare now models, prevention models. The things you see there are the 5 risk factors, and each one is one different municipality. So now we can know which factors are more in one municipality or in other. And with that, we can take better decisions in what are the things we need to do in terms of prevention to attack that problem. So technology is very important. I think it's something very original we're using in Mexico, and you have to know more about that I cannot explain because of time. And we have that social cohesion survey, which is the first survey we are going to do in cohesion, social cohesion in the world, in a country, because we are going to have 90, we are going to estimate community satisfaction with neighborhood conditions, assets, levels of social cohesion, and a lot of things. But which is important is we are going to do that in a national sample size of 99 million homes there, and we are going to have information in 1 year of all those homes, and also it is focused in young people, this survey. And we did that with the United Nations, and we are going to do that survey with INEGI, which is a very well-known institute in Mexico. And if you want to know more about the survey, you can ask me later. And that's all. Thank you.